Dave, 35-point margin in the end, how accurate do you think that is in terms of the overall performance?
Yeah, look, it probably doesn't matter, does it? It's we were well beaten, and well beaten because we didn't treasure the ball well enough. I thought we defended really well first half and really physical first half, and but we made some really poor decisions defensively. If we turned the ball over, if we kicked poorly, and got exposed down short sides, and threw a couple of intercepts when there was clear space in behind for us to put the pressure on them. So it's disappointing. 3
intercepts in 2 weeks. How concerning is that?
Well, it's disappointing. It just highlights that what we've talked about. If they're going to play high, you've got to turn them around and put the ball in behind them. So disappointing that we're not seeing that and communicating it. So it sounds like the second one, there was plenty of talk, but we didn't react.
And how frustrating to not capitalise on the man advantage as well when Artie went off?
Yeah, it was a big part of the game, wasn't it? 21-15, down a man, we'll get a 5 metre line out. In a series of, not straight, not the worst I've seen, but fair enough. Then we defend poorly off that scrum and get penalised, and they get down our end, and we end up giving up a soft one, or a penalty and then a soft one. So, look, disappointing. That was a chance to ram it home.
Dave, how much of a setback is a loss like this in your overall campaign this year?
I don't know, any loss hurts. Look, obviously we'll reflect on that later, but I'm disappointed that we didn't build on what we did first half, and there's a number of men who emptied out the tank prior to coming off, and pretty disappointed with the impact we got off the bench, compared to the French series where our bench were outstanding. So obviously the stuff we'll look through, we'll look at a bit of footage and get a bit of clarity around it.
Michael, did you feel that things were actually going your way at 21-15 behind, but with a 15-14 advantage, that it was beginning to swing your way?
We put together some nice passages of play. Back into the first half, we're scrummaging really well, and New Zealand were infringing, and pretty bad illegal infringements there. I thought there probably could have been that yellow could have come before the end of the first half, but we got it at the start of the second there. Our skill error to not capitalise on that. Maybe I should have taken the shot, built on that, got a good exit and capitalised on them being a men down. Didn't, and it turns out to hurt us. So I take a lot of responsibility for that, and I take a lot of responsibility for not being able to rally our guys there in order to get a better outcome in that pretty pivotal 10 minutes. So it's something as captain I've got to look at.
Dave, what did you like first half? The physicality that you promised really came. Anything else?
Yeah, look, I thought that was important. What we're able to do is to generate a really quick ball, get him behind the All Blacks. Tate McDermott found a lot of space. So that's what we talked about. If we can, play on top of them, be direct, but be direct with skill, we can squeeze them up and find some space somewhere. So, I thought that was really positive. The disappointing thing around that was we also gave up 3 soft tries. One coming off an intercept, another one off a kick that we couldn't apply any pressure to, and the All Blacks are too good a side to gift that sort of possession.
How much responsibility for loss do you need to take in terms of potentially not making a more conservative mindset, not being too quick to kick or whatever else, with the All Blacks being the classy outfit they are?
Yeah, well, everything falls back on me, doesn't it? So, we went in with a plan. If we can't execute that plan, then we'll seriously look at what we're doing. So, we want to have an optimistic mindset around how we play as well. But, you've got to play what's in front of you. And, so one of our kickoffs, we could have done it simply. Just kick straight off 9. We've got a bit of a wind behind us, but played a couple of phases, kicked off 10, and they scored off it. So, in the end, the players are implementing what we're trying to put on the park. So clearly we'll take responsibility for it.
the media like to put a bit of emphasis on what's said in the lead up during the week. The careless sort of chat around the aura sort of slipping or whatnot. Do you think that had any effect potentially on this clash?
Oh, look, I think that whole bit of reporting's disappointing. So you got a young player who's played about 3 tests, who gets asked about playing the All Blacks at Eden Park, and, over a 5-minute interview, they pluck out 3 or 4 words and make a headline out of it. So, what Cowles is saying is that, last week he was heading into the unknown, the All Blacks at Eden Park. How tough is that? Now we get to play them again at the same park, so, he knows what he's heading into. So, incredibly disappointing for a Sydney reporter to make a massive headline out of that for a young player who's just finding his way. So, I won't say any more on that, but, clearly we're not going to try and entice the All Blacks to fire up any more than they normally do. So, but, as we said, we respect the All Blacks, but, we don't fear them. If we go in nervous and worried about playing them, you're going to finish second every time, aren't you?
Michael, there seems to be a lot of positives, even though the result last week didn't go your way. The positives leading into this test. Do you feel that's the challenge you guys face, is to be at that high level for 2 weeks in a row or consistently against the All Blacks?
Yeah, we've got to have 80-minute performances. We haven't put one together probably this year. So, that's the challenge, and 100% we've got to be optimistic around the stuff we're doing well, because if we don't know what we're doing well, then we're a bit clueless, aren't we? So we're definitely going to build on the stuff that, we're working, and that's working nicely for us, and start to etch out the stuff that, where we get hurt. And, we did some stuff that was out of character there tonight, and you come up against a quality team, which this clearly is, and they put you to the sword, and we let that slip too much.
Do you feel it was a step forward by the All Blacks as well as a step back from you guys as well tonight?
Oh, I don't know.
They were clinical, no doubt.
Michael, loose forward battle tonight. How did that feel on the field? It seemed like you guys actually had a bit of ascendancy at some phases.
Oh, look, I'll have to go back and look at the tape. Hey, you're pretty in the moment on the field. We had some good patches. Definitely, we want to get stuck in and rip and tear there. But whatever back row New Zealand puts out is going to be of high class. They could put 3 different ones together and it's still going to be pretty imposing. So we're up for the challenge. Really excited about what we could try and do there and achieve on the field as a back row. So there's some nice parts, and we'll review that. And like I said, be optimistic around some of the stuff that was going well. But as a back row, we want to keep levelling up whoever's in 6, 7, or 8.
Dave, just, you obviously talked about the things that were a bit disappointing, but what were some of the positives you guys could take out of that match?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, we found a lot of space in and around them. Look, there was a lot of nice footy from an attack perspective, but just not for long enough. We'd find space in behind them, and we'd throw a couple of smart offloads, but then either turn it over or throw an intercept or. So, you got to be able to put the foot on the throat longer at this level. And, we've got a young side who's learning and learning quickly.
And is it obviously you play the All Blacks 3 times in a row to almost start the season. Is that a positive for you guys that you get to build into those games and sort of learn how they play, again each year? Or is that sort of a tough one for you guys going against obviously quite a good team?
Look, we want as much tough footy as we can, so it was great to have a series against France. Obviously, the Rugby Championship, we'll play the All Blacks again. We've got a couple against, South Africa, who they pose a different type of threat, and Argentina, who have gone well over the last 12 months, and then we go to Europe. So, we'll play 14 games this year. It's gold for us.
Dave, you've been on the road.
Pandaram here. Obviously, you want to win, but what do you want to see in that third test in Perth? What are the outcomes you want? Team perspective, optics-wise, what do you need to see?
Well, what we know is you've got to defend well against the All Blacks. And so clearly we didn't do that well enough. And, if you can reduce them to around about 20 points or less, they lose more than they win. So it was certainly a goal heading in, and that'll be important heading into the next one. I think we've got to keep building on our attack, and then it's our ability to make smart decisions and play what's in front of us. It's an area that we need a lot of development.
And you were asked before about whether you should contain some of your attack and play more conservative, but some of that attack was actually quite impressive in spurts. Where do you stand with that? Do you persist with what you're doing well, or do you revert to playing more defensively to try and win a test against the All Blacks?
I just think it's a balance. We want to kick more. It's not a natural part of the DNA of Wallaby players at the moment, and so it's trying to get a balance to attacking and then trying to find some space and apply pressure through that. So if you look at someone like South Africa who play that type of game, we're not. I don't think we're big enough to get into an arm wrestle with sides, and so we've got to be able to play a balanced game. That's the area we're trying to develop.
Dave, you've been on the road for a fair amount of time now. Is that starting to bite with the COVID issues?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I suppose you'd have to speak to individuals. We've got a long road ahead yet too, we think. So, look, some of our boys from New South Wales haven't seen family for 7 weeks. We could end up in Perth for another 7 weeks.
Do you go straight to Perth now?
Yeah, we go tomorrow. So, Rugby Australia's been doing all they can to try and connect the families and move people around and quarantine, and we're hoping to get a few people into, family members into Perth, but we've been knocked back for that. So, it's difficult, but we're actually really a tight group. The good men, they're working hard, we'll get an arm around each other, and because chances are we'll get another 7 weeks together.
And the All Blacks might not be home again until December, so I suppose everybody faces those challenges.
Yeah, I feel less sorry for them, of course, but yeah.
Anything else? Just yell out, Michael.
Dave, obviously, big game from Tate McDermott tonight. He's improved every time he's started. You must be pretty happy with, obviously, his progression as a starting international halfback.
Yeah, I look, real credit to Tate. He's had a massive focus on the quality of his distribution and his kicking game, and he's always been a very good runner. He's developing nicely, and he's a real handful. And if you've got a 9 that's a genuine threat, it's hard to bring line speed around those rucks, and so his ability to create space for himself and others is a real strength, and he had a big game tonight.